the reason we wanted to go over this presentation is that I find that a lot of times when people see what eXp really has to offer, it really becomes hard to unsee. I was one of those people that eXp was first introduced to me back in 2017, and I said, nope, I am not paying attention to this company. This is a big distraction. I want nothing to do with it. It's multi-level marketing. It's this. At the same time, I had friends that joined in 2017, and over the last 2 years, it's basically become the fastest growing company. It went from 20,000 agents to 80,000 agents, and it's grown at a faster speed of more than double of any other company in real estate history. Warning, if you've heard things about eXp or you've heard different things, come in here with an open mind and just listen to what the company has to offer. So this meeting is all about you guys, just like it's been from the beginning. It's all about you. It's all about providing some information. So I just wanted to do like a quick little survey for you guys and kind of just get to know your businesses. One, how would you rate your current business and the platform that it runs in? Rate that on a scale of 1 to 10. Number two, how would you rate your current real estate business overall, like in terms of time, money, and stress? Are the top agents in your marketplace acting like competitors or collaborators? At the company that you currently work with, are the agents sharing with you all of their best stuff to help you grow their business, or are they hoarding everything and just saying, no? Does your brokerage give you stock just for selling homes? How many homes at your current company would you have to sell in order for you guys to get ownership? Is your brokerage partnering with you to build residual income? Meaning, do you have different streams of income that you can get besides selling homes? Does your current company offer you a retirement plan? How excited are you about the future of your real estate brokerage on a scale of 1 to 10?
The harsh reality of our industry is that it's really failed to create a clear path for financial freedom. We're really on this like kind of treadmill of just doing transactions, and transactional, like traditional brokerage firm, they keep agents on that treadmill, right? Because there's not other forms of compensation that are available and other forms of producing income. I'm also aware that productivity coaching and traditional training methods aren't getting it done. And I mean this respectfully, I do, that the majority of productivity coaches are people that are not productive. You have somebody who's not producing, trying to teach somebody to be productive, never sold 100 homes a year, never done anything like even close to that. And most agents and team leaders, they won't be able to gracefully retire. They're going to be doing transactions, for the rest of their life. There's another level of growth in your business, and you want to hang around business like builders rather than just struggling agents in your market. And you want to grow your business in a way that systematically increases your net worth and time off. I find it super interesting. So I have a coaching company with 100 coaching clients throughout the country, 9 of which make over $1 million a year. And when I ask most of them, like, hey, do you track your net worth? Most of them don't. Hey, like, do you have any residual income? Most of them don't have any. And the idea is I want time. Traditional success in our game is 60 to 70 hours a week. And when you do that, you are going to sacrifice other things in your life. I know I've done it. So as I get older, I'm 41. I'm beginning to value time more, and I want to build my business in a way that systematically increases my net worth and time off. And you want to learn how to make the shift from the transactional treadmill of just being like a technician in your business to, a highly lucrative lifestyle business. Most people have never really done the math, and we're going to get into some of those numbers. When I say to people like, hey, what's your freedom number? And they'll be like, oh, when I make $10,000 a month, they really don't understand what's required in order to accomplish that. Right? Where it's like $2 million invested at 5%. So you have to ask yourself, like, am I even close to my financial freedom kind of number? And am I in a vehicle that's going to actually allow me to accomplish it? Like you're in the right place if you're working evenings and weekends and letting those around you down. Like, dude, I've been there. I've been at a place where, my wife has conversations with me like, hey, you're working too much. Right?
Same here.
Yeah, and we see really big challenges in the real estate industry. We really do.
Jose Luis Morales, over 650 properties sold. Took me 6 months to sell my first property. Myself and a very small team, we sell 130 plus properties a year. I've invested a lot of my money. I own about $14 million worth of real estate. That's my wife, my 2 kids, which look a lot older now. And yeah,
that's me, 17 years married. Over 2,000 transactions. It's my family in that picture. Daughter Liliana, son Sebastian, Carla's there. Speaker and coach. I have a coaching company, over 100 paid coaching clients throughout the United States, investor, and multiple seven-figure net worth.
This is kind of the part that I was alluding to. Like, as a real estate agent, like most of us, the moment we go on vacation, the moment we get sick, the moment a significant other needs our attention, the moment we stop selling properties, we stop making money. So, like, the little treadmill is like a really good visual because most people never get off the treadmill. They're basically just on this consistent commission treadmill. So one of the things that I love about the company is that it gives you an opportunity to actually earn residual, which means that if you stop selling properties, you still have a source of income coming in, and it doesn't require for you just to sell properties. And the great part about the company is that it's not required for you to change absolutely nothing, meaning you're going to be doing the exact same things that you're already doing. You're going to be selling friends, you're going to be talking to other agents, and you're going to be basically selling property.
Yeah, and there's challenges with these models, right? So like you hear, like a lot of people are like, oh, teams, and I want to build a team. Okay, well, challenge with the team models, you have to spend time helping agents grow, and they will eventually leave because that's just what happens. And you're ultimately training competition, and you have to give away margin in order to keep people happy as far as like splits are concerned.
Now, brokerage model. Now, this is the brokerage model. One of the biggest models that brokerages have is retention and recruiting. Now, what I love about the company is that a lot of times, like, the only mechanism that brokerages have to compete is just like lowering their fees. Not only that, like, in a brokerage, if you're the owner of a brokerage, like, you're limited by location. Like, the good thing about eXp is that, like, if I want to partner with somebody in a different state, I don't have to go get a broker's license in that state. The company allows me. Aaron and I partnered from thousands and thousands of miles away, and it didn't require for me to go out and get a broker's license in Florida. The other thing is retention. Like, because you do get stock in the company, it helps out the retention aspect of the company. And because you do get residual within the company, it leads to a higher retention, because if somebody's earning $5, $10, $15,000 in residual a month, guess what? They're not going anywhere. They become unrecruitable.
I actually owned part of a Keller Williams office prior to making the change to eXp, and I sold it back in order to participate in the opportunity. And this is what really got me, right? So if you have a freedom number, let's say you want to make $20,000 a month in residual income, right? What that's going to require is $4.8 million invested at 5%. Now, in order to get the $4.8 million, you're going to have to gross probably $10 million, because you're going to have to pay taxes and like all that other stuff. And this is very true for me. The most expensive thing you can own is a closed mind. And I'm 100% guilty of this. So Jose, you know, I've had the good fortune, I've worked with and coached Jose for an extended period of time, since like kind of the beginning of his career. And he was going to be changing companies. And I shared with him at the time, I was an owner in a Keller Williams office. Like, hey man, you should go talk to them. He chose eXp. And then for a whole year, he was like, bro, you got to look at this thing. And I was a super hard no, like, nope, not interested. I spent 2 months studying models so I could really understand underneath like what was really happening. So I could really answer the question of which model's more in alignment with the way the world's moving, which model's more in alignment with agents' best interest.
Aaron, whenever I started talking about eXp, he went to his current brokerage, and they told them, like, and he said, hey, well, what have you heard about eXp? And they said, no, don't talk to them. They're the bad guys.
They're the bad guys.
A lot of times, like, most people, and this happened to me, that if I talked to my broker was like, no, look, it's going to distract you from selling a bunch of homes. So you have to be really, really careful who you're talking to, because if you're talking to the right people, they're going to try to discourage you from talking or even exploring the model. It's almost like they want to keep you guys blindfolded.
Some of you may not be old enough. I'm old enough. Like, I remember I had to explain to my son what Blockbuster was. Which model's more in alignment with the way the world's going? Is it having physical offices in the physical world, right? Is it trapping agents, offering them money, or you know, to switch companies, locking them into contracts at 10, 15% splits that never cap? Or is it having the brokerage in the cloud and making agents owners in what they're building?
So when Netflix or Redbox started disrupting Blockbuster, a lot of people they weren't even on the radar. They basically like didn't look at them as competition. And I feel like sometimes that's what's happening with some of the bigger real estate companies. So I'm like, eXp, whatever. You see people like me, who's one of the top agents in the marketplace. You see people like Aaron, who's one of the top people in the marketplace. You see people like the number one team in Santa Barbara switch to eXp, the number one team in Prescott.
Again, here we have Airbnb has a larger valuation than Hilton Hotels. Like I remember there was a time where if I wanted to stay somewhere when I was out of town, the only place I could stay was a hotel. That's not the case anymore. So let's look at this. This is the traditional model of real estate. It's basically feudalism. You have a king or queen at the top. That king or queen goes out and sells a region, right, for millions of dollars. That regional owner then goes out and sells franchises, which are individual offices. And then you have the peasants who work the land and never own anything. Who do you think the peasants are in this particular diagram? It's us. It's the agents. We're doing all the work, but we don't get any ownership, and all the money funnels back up to the top.
We settle for things like, oh, we're going to give you free business cards, or we're going to give you free for sale signs. But you got to ask yourself, are they really free when you're paying $50,000 in fees to the company? They're actually very expensive business cards. They're very expensive for sale signs. But we settle for things. We settle for being the peasant.
Yeah, then the evolution of that model, we're going to have a cap that splits. For any agent that's on a cap that doesn't split, why are you doing that? The cap goes into the office, and we pay all of the expenses. And if there's any money left over, 50% goes to the owners and 50% goes to the agents that recruited agents to the office. The problem with that is that offices are very expensive to run. $45,000, $50,000 a month. Most top agents never use them, very rarely, but you're paying for it.
So this is your traditional real estate company to the left, and here's eXp. So the difference between eXp and your most traditional companies is that, like, let's say that I attract a new agent at another company. Let's say I invite my friend to come work at eXp. Who benefits from that on the left-hand side? The staff, the owner, the regional manager, the international manager, and the owner benefits from that. Do you as the agent benefit? No. Let's say that somebody else brings on another agent to the company. Let's say Grant Cardone brings on another agent. Who benefits? The owner, the regional manager, the international manager, and they benefit. At eXp, they've basically eliminated all of that, and they made the agent the focal point of the company. So like, let's say that Grant Cardone brings an agent. I benefit from that. How? I'm a stockholder within the company because I sell properties and they give me stock for every person that I sell.
A lot of agents, you want to focus on production. Fine. We have a ridiculous value stack, right? Where above and beyond just access to the brokerage firm, if you just want to focus on production, we can help you be as productive as possible. 75% of all the coaching that I provide becomes free to you, right? We have a group call. Agents pay $250 a month to be on. That's free. We have role play groups. Practice role play in the morning and in the afternoon for listing presentation. Those are free. Online classes that we have, those are free. Mastermind groups that we have. If you fit the criteria, then you can be in those groups. Agents pay $400 a month to be in. Those are free. Jose does a call once a week. Jose's 35 years old, owns 57 doors, $14 million worth of real estate, $2.something million in GCI. You can ask him any questions you want once a week. That's free, right? Access to his online university. That's free. We have a senior partner, Lars, owns Real Estate B School, teach you how to scale his online platform. Agents pay $900 a month. That's free. So we can teach you to be productive as possible, and we're all about production. Me and Jose lead with production, right? This is another opportunity for those people who are interested in it. And this is an example of that. So if you were to partner with just 6 people and those 6 people do $80,000 a year in GCI, you will make $16,800 for that year in revenue sharing. If those 6 people go get 6 people, that becomes $19,000. That's $36,000 per year. That's the equivalent of $720,000 invested at 5%. Remember, in order to get the 720, you would have to gross 1.5, 1.7, because you'd have to pay taxes, live, store. There's different forms of leverage, right? There's a leverage of labor, the leverage of capital, and then there's the leverage of like content, right? And if you don't, you have to ask yourself a question is, do I have any leverage in my life, or am I the technician purely and simply, and that's it? Leverage of labor is having people work with you or for you. The leverage of capital is investing money, and money works with me and for me. And content, me and Jose are big on social media and on YouTube and podcasting and things of that nature. And those are all forms of leverage. And we don't live in a world of rich and poor anymore. We don't live in a world of haves and have-nots. We live in a world of people who have leverage and people who don't. And this is also what's got me and Jose super excited, is this thing called the innovation curve. So when something's new, right, there's innovators, and those are people who see something before anybody else does, right? It's only 2.5% of the growth curve. Then there's early adopters. Early adopters have a high tolerance for risk, right? And that's like 13.5% of the growth curve. They don't, they're like, oh, it makes sense. Like, let's do it. Then there's the early majority. Okay. And those are people who have a lower tolerance for risk, but they need enough people to do it for it to feel safe. Okay. Notice that's 34% of the growth curve. Then there's the late majority, which is like FOMO. They feel like they're missing out. And then there's laggards, which are people who still have flip phones. So I firmly believe, and Jose does as well, that we are now entering into the early majority stage of this opportunity. And that means we have 68% of all the growth, right? They went from 20,000 agents in 2020 to 84,000 agents in 2022. So at that level and at that clip, they will be the largest real estate company in the country within like 2 years, right? So I know and believe that with the right vehicle, if you put in time, energy, and effort and some work, because there's so much momentum behind you, you can accomplish in 2 or 3 years more than you could in an entire lifetime.
So how is the platform actually different from other companies? The reality is that none of the companies will offer you ownership, and none of the other companies will offer you compensation for you inviting your friends to come work for the company. None of the other companies offer you a clear path towards having a retirement plan one day, and it doesn't require that you guys change anything that you guys are currently doing. So what does it look like if you guys partner with us?
Yeah, so with me, what you get is, some of you on this call, I'm noticing, like Taurino and other people, like you're in a group call and you pay $250 a month to be on that call. And what I'm aware of is that call is led by me personally for 1 hour. It's via Zoom. We record the calls. We talk all things real estate. You have access, super high level of instruction. And if you partner with us, it's free. Not only is it free for you, but it's free for anybody that you want, your team members, like, anybody that partners with you. We also have those role play groups, again, 5 days a week, role play for setting appointments and listing presentation, 2 separate role play groups that agents pay cumulatively about $80 a month to be in. Those become free to you. We have online classes that are in 23 countries and 8 languages. Those become free, teaching people what to say and how to say it, the actual listing presentation itself. And if you meet the criteria, we have 2 separate mastermind groups. One mastermind group is the accelerator mastermind. You have to do 250 to 500 a year in GCI. There's like 7 or 8 agents that are on that call currently. We get together once a week via Zoom. I lead that call. It's normally $400 a month. That's free to you. We have another mastermind group, which Jose is a part of, and some other hitters. You have to do $750,000 a year to be in. We do live events as well, a couple times a year. It's a really awesome group. And if you fit the criteria for that, then that also becomes free. Agents pay $400 a month to be in that group, but you would have access to that for free.
So for me, you actually get access to something called Morales Group University. So I've been coaching my agents to basically sell a lot of homes over the last couple years. And what I basically did is I recorded all of those calls, and I basically have them recorded for other agents to listen into. There's live listing presentations, there's live expired calls, there's live for sale by owner calls. There's basically anything that you need. It's basically recorded for you guys and available for you guys to listen to 24/7. So you can be at the gym, you could be at your house, you can be with your kids. And if you need a plug in or you need to figure something out, it's available 24/7. The other thing is I actually have a mastermind group that I do on Fridays. I do it at 12 o'clock, and I basically answer any questions that anybody has. People have asked me, where does most of your business come from? Instead of telling them where most of my business come from, I actually show them. I show them my CTE dashboard, and I basically tell them. So in that mastermind group, my entire purpose is to help you guys change the way that you guys think so that you guys can grow your real estate business. The last thing is I'm a pretty systems guy, meaning The reason I'm able to handle the amount of volume that we currently do and do so in a way where we provide a high level of customer service is because we have a lot of systems that go on in the background. And I feel like for most agents, they never take the time to actually set up their systems. That's one of my strengths. I can actually coach you, guide you, mentor you on how to improve your real estate systems to basically grow your real estate company. Everything from how to hire people, everything from how to fire people, everything for how to process a listing the moment that you take it. All of that is included for free. When I was signing up for eXp, I was actually very strategic as to who I wanted to partner with. A lot of people just partner with whoever approaches them. We were very, very clear and we wanted to add massive, massive value. So I decided to partner with another mentor of mine. Lars is actually the person that helped me build the systems for my business and helped me grow my team. Lars is a real estate coach and he coaches some of the top teams around the country, 400 deals plus, 500 deals plus. So the benefit of partnering with elite builders is that you actually get access to all of this stuff for free. Lars has a university where you can plug into, you can listen to it, where he coaches you on how to basically grow a real estate team if that's what you want to do, grow a real estate team. The other thing is Lars actually teaches a once a week class as well too on how to grow your real estate business. So our question to you guys is, if you had proximity, meaning like my career started to change the moment I started getting proximity to people that were already doing what I wanted to do. That's really the hack, guys. The hack isn't trying to reinvent the wheel. The hack is not trying to figure out everything on your own. The hack to real estate and anything that you want to do in life is to get proximity to people that are already doing.
Yeah, and there's a difference, guys. This comes from a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant, and there's 4 ways that you can earn money. One is as an employee. That's where you have a W-2 job. 2 is where you're self-employed, which is where we hang out as agents, right? And then on the right-hand side of the quadrant is a business owner where you have equity or you own a system, right? And there's people in the system that work the system. And then the last part of the quadrant on the bottom right-hand corner is an investor, right? Where you have capital working for you. Now, 90 to 95% of the population hang out on the left side of the quadrant. The goal and objective is to be on the right-hand side of the quadrant. So what this model
100%.
provides you is the opportunity not only to be a business owner, and we can teach you how to do that. We can teach you the skills that are necessary to list property in high volume. We can teach you the systems that are required in order to create a machine, so you're not just a technician. And then you also get equity, right? Just by doing your job. And then, if you choose to, you can build an organization as well. And that'll put you over on the right-hand side of the quadrant. You'll get more leverage in your life. And that's the goal and objective. Yeah, now this is really interesting, okay, to pay attention to, because I don't think we really do the mathematics, right? So let's say wherever you are in your journey, whether you're in your 30s or if you're in your 50s, the question is what's your number? What's your I'm done number? Is it 5,000 a month in residual income? Is it 10? Is it 20? Now, I know sometimes our ego could be like, oh, it's like 30, but we don't really think that through, because what 5,000 a month in residual income is $1.2 million invested at 5%. Now, in order to get the 1.2 million, you have to earn 2.4 or more, right? Because you got to pay taxes and like all that other stuff just to get to the 5,000 a month in residual income. Is it 10,000? That's $2.4 million invested at 5%. Which means you got to earn 5 million, right? And so on and so forth. So the question is like, what seems more probable, right? Us accomplishing that for most people, right? You got to ask yourself, how much of this do you already have? And do you have a vehicle that's at your disposal that will allow you to accomplish your goals and objectives?
And here's the interesting part, Aaron. When I would sit down with agents and I would ask them, how much would you like to make in residual income? A lot of them would say like $20,000, $30,000. And then I would ask them, how much money would you have to invest and how much money would you have to make in order to make that? Literally, they would just look at me with a blank stare, meaning they have goals, they have dreams, they have ambitions to have residual income, 20 to 30,000, but they had no idea how to get there.
So a little kind of exercise that you could do is, what's my I'm done number? How much have I saved so far? So if your I'm done number is 1.2, or let's say 2.4, how much of that do I already have? How much are you saving per year? And how many years will it take you to save the difference? It's a really good exercise to walk through so you can get clear on this. Because I find, guys, that the people that produce the outcomes that are most favorable are the ones that are the most intentional. You know, falling in shit and like winning the lottery is like, yeah, does that happen? But it's not probable. Most people who produce favorable outcomes, they're exceptionally intentional about what they want to accomplish.
And here's a good question to ask yourself. How much money do you have saved up? How much money have you invested? Because some of us are like overly optimistic, you know, like we've never invested any money in our life. We don't have any money in the bank account. And all of a sudden we think that we're going to save up $2.5 million and get $20,000 in residual. Unless we change what we're currently doing, we're going to get the same results. The definition of insanity, guys, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So based on where you are today, meaning how much money you have in your bank account, how much have you actually invested in the time that you've been in the real estate business, how confident are you in terms of where you're going, that you're going to meet your actual goals? When people started approaching me about eXp, I was like, nah, it's a distraction, this and that. Then I had friends that were making $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month in residual, and that's when I started to pay attention. I was like, man, this thing is real. There's something there. Aaron, how long have you been with the company, bro?
5 months.
Okay.
And in 5 months,
what's the most you ever made at Keller Williams, bro?
Oh man, like I don't know, $500, maybe $400, like something like that.
And you made $2,000 last month, bro, and scheduled to make $2,500 this month.
That's exactly right. And what I'm aware of is that's the equivalent of like $400,000 to $500,000 invested at 5%. So what would have normally taken me personally a year to do, let's say store 400 or 500 after grossing like 1.3, 1.4 million bucks and paying taxes and all that, I've been able to accomplish that in 5 months. That is a quantum leap. That is not an incremental gain. An incremental gain is I saved an extra 10,000 bucks this year. An incremental gain is I did like 2 or 3 more deals this year or 10 more deals this year. This is a quantum leap.
So in order, like, and Aaron does these. Aaron invests in syndications with like Grant Cardone. He pays a 5 or a 6% return on your capital. That means at $1 million, he's paying $60,000 a year. That means $5,000 a month.
That's right.
Aaron would have had to invest $500,000 minimum to get to this, which means he would have had to make $1 million in selling real estate, which that's 1 year. Aaron has done this in less than 90 days with the company. Last month, I made $5,900. This is real, guys. Then expected $4,500 and $3,200, guys. This is real. This is Lars Heddingberg. The guy has been with the company for less than 2 years. Look at how much he made for the entire month. $85,000 in a month, guys. Not in a year. This is in a month.
Which is the equivalent, by the way, of $20 million invested at 5%. And he did it in 2 years. And in order to get 20 million, you'd have to make 40 million. Like, it's insane, right? He was able to compress. I know people that have been doing this business that are the top of the top of the top of the top, making $5 million a year. It took them 30 years to get a net worth of $20 million. He has built the equivalent in 2.
So let me ask you guys this. If Lars doesn't sell a home today, is he going to be okay? Yep. If he doesn't sell a home tomorrow, is he going to be okay? Is he going to be like, man, I need to sell a home to pay my mortgage? Nope. It's all taken care of, guys. So you guys have a choice. You guys can attract 10 to 15 agents. We can help you guys formulate that game plan over the next 2 to 3 years, or you can save up 4.8 to 7.2 million over the next 20 to 30 years, guys. Let's put our ego to the side.
That's right. And remember, the most expensive thing you can own is a closed mind. That was very true for me. I asked myself a question instead of how much would it cost me to do this? How much would it cost me to not do it? And I really believe that it was 5 figures in residual income, and I'm already starting to see that happen.
Yeah. So this is possible. It's predictable, and you're not alone. Meaning you're surrounded by individuals that all have the same goal and all have the same vision as you. You can actually do it. You can go further. You can go faster, and you can partner up with elite builders.
And we'd love to have the opportunity. Again, we know you have lots of options to choose from. We very much so are individuals that are interested in adding tremendous amounts of value, right? It's not like I just made up a coaching company to try to add value to people. I've been doing that for 6 or 7 years. It's not like we made up mastermind groups. They're all there. And our intention is with our partners, we very much so view it as a partnership, is to pour out and share as much as we possibly can and to collaborate at the highest possible level.
What we would say is, for some people, they see eXp and they actually understand it. Like, man, I need to make this shift as soon as possible, and I need to switch companies as soon as possible. If that is you, what we would recommend to you guys is that you reach out to the person that invited you to this call and you tell them, hey, look, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm ready to make the jump. If this is not you and you need additional information, we're happy to schedule a call with you guys and kind of explain the model in additional detail. In addition, if you guys have additional questions, we're happy to answer them for you. And if it was either me or Aaron that actually invited you to the call, we're going to drop a link in the questions box where you can actually put your information and we can schedule a call as well too. Sounds good, guys. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being on. And until next time, we'll start planning the next webinar for next month. And then we're going to be doing an in-person event in December. So stay tuned because we'll start planning that out soon. Likely be a goal planning / goal setting event going into 2023.